We're gonna, I think we should just start right away because we're a little bit late starting. So, go ahead, Lorena, take it away.
Take it away.
Take it away.
Shh, Tofi.
I believe that the question is about my teacher, Herman Redmond, and some of his teaching. And I'm going to start with some of his teaching about death and immortality. And I was looking at this book on question and answers, and I opened on the section on death, and then I opened the hidden thoughts of reality about mystical experiences and opened on the one on death and immortality. The fear of death hangs like a menacing cloud over civilization. But when we overcome this fear and realize that life is an unbroken line of development, at once a new freedom comes upon us, and we no longer feel as if some shadow were lingering nearby. For we know that we do not dwell in time, but that we stand at the threshold of eternity.
Making too much noise.
When one is seeking for the light, some imaginary or astral experience will come to us and reveal that death is but a shadow, and in reality is the gateway to greater knowledge and unfoldment. Let us go into the world of imagination and watch someone pass the threshold. The time has come to depart from this world of flesh and suffering. Why do my friends mourn for me? I would speak to them, but my tongue does not move and my thoughts go unspoken. I do not feel my body any longer. It is becoming very dark, and suddenly I see a burst of orange light around my head. Then blackness rolls upon me again. When I see light again, I find myself hovering over my body, free and light, and a great sense of relief came over me. I spoke again to those beside my body and said, "Please do not mourn for me." But they did not hear me. I hear some music like a harp. I behold a being at a doorway who bids me enter a dazzling land of liquid light. And so some of these questions that were put to him: how are we to view the event of physical death? Do we die physically when it is our time to die? Certainly. Should we still be practical and take precautions to prevent physical death? Of course, we must make the best possible use of this karmic cycle. Those who do not, and for example, commit suicide, pay a price. Why be cautious if the time of death is already predetermined? His answer: one obeys the law of self-preservation by taking care of one's life and by making best use of the body the Lord has given. I am reminded of a question a yogi once asked me. He asked what I would do with my future. When I said that I would leave this up to the lords of destiny, he replied that there is a negative destiny and a positive destiny. That made me think. I realized that it is quite negative to go through life without plans, thought, effort, or concern. One adopts a positive destiny by infusing one's life with a purpose, be it spiritual, artistic, or whatever. When one orients one's life and dedicates one's life to a goal, a positive contribution is made. Otherwise, one moves negatively towards death. Could you elaborate on the experience of crossing over? Well, the disciple may become conscious of beautiful music, like 100 harps filling the air. Then someone will come forward, the guru, if he is already there, or a relative. He will give an appropriate greeting, explain the disciple's new situation, and will take him on a tour of his new surroundings. And the question is, the other world, is it just as real and substantial as this one? It is more real. The sounds and colors are so much more beautiful there. And the people are more beautiful since they have shed the matter and heaviness of this plane. So that was a little touch of some of his teaching. He was born, here's a little booklet about, he was born in 1902, lived till 1985. I knew him just for the last few years of his life. He carried so this is what is written about him in the booklet. He carried the divine fire of love from the spiritual heights into time and place upon the earth. From his earliest years, Herman's deeply internal nature was open to awareness and vision of spiritual presences. As a young man, he studied art at the National Academy of Design in New York City. Seeking the key to his inner experiences and in a burning search for spiritual understanding, he began an intense pursuit of Western religion and mystical philosophy and Hindu and Tibetan yogas. At the age of 21, reading the New Testament with deep devotion, he was actually born a Jew though, he immersed himself in the life of the Christ, and the spiritual fire burst forth within his heart. At 35, the application of the spiritual philosophy from India awakened his psychic faculties, and the door to the higher worlds swung open. A descent of extraordinary spiritual power brought him face to face with a holy presence from which he would be inseparable for the rest of his life. He traveled to Egypt, Greece, twice to India. Then he returned to the United States where his work lay. After he was a soldier during World War II. I think he was in an island on the Pacific, but he says he never had to shoot anyone, fortunately. After World War II, Herman came to the budding art community of Taos. Students gathered around him with questions for counsel, seeking a spiritual path. Herman worked with his growing spiritual group for the next 15 years, setting the disciplines of no intoxicants or meat and daily meditation. I'm not a strict devotee under those conditions, although, yeah, I'm not. I'm not a vegetarian, and I do occasionally do marijuana, and I'm not doing strict daily meditation. So I'm not, I value him very much, but it's not like I'm exactly what he would want me to be. He gave twice weekly teachings upon the path of love, service, gratitude, focus on a spiritual image, and the use of mantra. So I actually wanted to read one of his lessons, because part of the teaching was that you would get a lesson and then you would read, and then you would write a paper after your meditation. And I found one that I thought would be beautiful to read to you. This moment, I am that pure light and love. Your spiritual development will not come in a series of explosions, nor will it be like great lights pouring through your room. Instead, it will be on a very subtle level. At each moment, a ray of light shall come through your center and build up a storage of light force. It is like a psychic clock within your being. Every second, a ray of light is coming through your center. The important thing is, are you using these moments of light? It is pure energy, but the form and color and quality this energy takes depends on your state of mind and heart. If you are in a negative state, you are converting these moments of light rays into a black force that will create a block in your system, besides creating a type of poison which will be deposited in the weak parts of your body. So the issue is to really work towards transforming yourself into a positive state. And the saying of a mantra helps that. This moment I live in God. This moment of light I radiate love. This moment I am that pure light and love. And I feel like that's probably enough for me to share with you all. And let's hear from all of you.
Beautiful.
Wow, beautiful. If you don't mind, I have one question about what does it mean mantra in this kind of spiritual thinking? Yes, please.
Okay. You can choose a sentence. You can choose a sentence. He gave my heart radiates love is a very simple mantra.
Okay.
It could be in Sanskrit, it could be in Arabic. You could choose a sentence that means something very deep to you. And when you're getting kind of distracted and you feel like you need to redirect your focus into into your spiritual path, then you can choose your own sentence to return to. And you could work with a different sentence each week or something like that.
Okay, this sentence is called mantra.
Right.
Right, thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
And often mantras, like in Sanskrit, Om Mani Padme, well, actually that's Tibetan, Om Mani Padme Hum is a mantra too.
Yeah, it's a kind of, it's a kind of prior moment, words you say during a prayer or meditation moment, mantra.
I didn't catch during what
it's
kind of moment? You could say it any moment. You could say it.
Okay, not during prayer or meditation. You can just say it anytime. Or
you could be walking in nature and you're just saying, "My heart radiates love."
We have this in our faith too. We say dhikr. That means remembrance. You just remember. Praising, or it's not necessarily related to God or whatever, but it's a kind of dhikr, remembrance. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Leah, do you have anything to add?
I'm curious, Asisha, like, how do you communicate with other people? Kind of the organization of people who think like this and follow this teaching. How do you make contact with them and keep in fellowship, or do you do so, or is it more of an individualistic type of thing, or are there meetings or what?
Yeah, there are meetings, and there are meetings from people who've been on the path of love and service for a while, and there's a beginner group, and the beginner group happens on the afternoon of Sundays, and the people who've been on the path longer, we meet at 7:30 my time on Sunday morning, and we have I could play you parts of recordings. And actually I had thought of playing a song from.
Wonderful.
I will
hear it.
Okay, so I'm going to play the song that happened yesterday when one of the people in that group sang for us at the very beginning, and I'm pretty sure I'll be able to find that quickly. And Sound Studio, open recent, yes. And so I'm pretty sure I can find it. I hope. Let's see. Would it be around there? Let's see.
I lived in the highest mountains, listened to the voice of nature, for the secret in life, the secret in life. I heard a voice say, look within, look within. And there I found a flame divine. It is the secret in life. It is God. It is love. It is God. It is love. It is God. It is love.
Wow. That's all I can say is wow. How powerful. What a powerful message.
Very, very beautiful.
And
Very beautiful.
and if any of you want to connect with these people,
Yes.
the website is www.earthjourney.org.
You can write it in the chat, right?
I will do that. Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, it's so touching. Yeah, I love it. The music.
I loved it, yeah.
Very
Yeah.
Actually,
soothing.
do they have people all around the world, or is it just in New Mexico, or what?
There are some people in other parts of the world.
Great.
Herman's nephew, I think, lives in Israel, and he came to one of the memorial services. But the people who
Yeah.
come to, and there are people who come out there like for meditation retreat, and then they
Okay.
do a practice in different places. And I think in the beginner group, they have people from different areas. But
You said meditation retreat.
yes, people can
yeah.
actually go there and do a meditation retreat and get to
Okay.
stay in Herman's house and things like that. And there is a building dedicated to his memory with lots of his paintings. He was an
Wow.
artist. So actually, let me change my video onto real.
Oh, good. That's wonderful.
Thank you.
So I can
Yeah.
show you at least a
Awesome.
painting of his.
Yeah. Thank you.
How do we do this?
Exciting. Hi, Leah.
How do I do this?
Good.
I'm trying to, well, it's going to be a little hard because I'm trying to show you a painting, but I couldn't get rid of the other. Can we get the painting? Yes.
Wow.
Can we get it?
I guess
It's
with
coming and then it going. It's showing
the-
you that there's a,
yeah.
it's very purple and blue, and it's showing you that there's a divine spirit over a temple, and there's a little,
Yeah.
I wish I could find this. What have I done wrong here?
I guess the background you have,
Choose
make it
virtual
include.
background. I need to do none. Yes.
Okay, yeah, good. Now
There
you
we
can
are.
share.
Now we can see.
Wow.
Got it. How I got it.
Wow.
Isn't that lovely?
Can see
Love it.
the
Very
light.
beautiful.
And
Wow.
it's hidden in my bedroom. Basically,
Yeah.
only I'm the one benefiting from this.
Of course.
Well, you're sharing it with
Otherwise
all
it
of
wa-
us and everyone.
Otherwise
you
it
know,
was,
so-
yeah, you benefit, you are the one who benefit. Otherwise you can't do it, you know. It should benefit every every member of your
Yes.
group.
So the books of his teachings, there's Earth Journey Volume 1 and Earth Journey Volume 2. They do have paintings in the inside too, and they have paintings on the covers of the books that he created and things like that were made from his teachings. I think,
Okay.
yeah, I think some of it he actually wrote out, some of his mystical experiences. So when we were together, he would give one lesson on Sunday morning, and then we would all write papers, and we would share our papers from the previous lesson before he gave a new lesson.
Okay.
So that was
The book is available on Amazon. Just asking.
no, I
Yeah.
haven't seen it on Amazon.
Okay. Just write the title, the real title,
through
and the
Earth
name
Journey.
of the author. Yeah. Thank you.
Through that company. And some of
Thank
them are cheaper than others. And I think a good beginning book is this question and answers. And I think there is a little pamphletty book that's fairly cheap because these big books with all the paintings and everything cost $50 each. So
Wow.
yeah, so it's not a cheap investment, but some of them are little, like this one about the mountain, that he's got this beautiful painting, and the lesson that went with it is the mountain is the body of a spirit, and anyone upon her form is exalted. For within the mountain there is a deva, radiant, electric, a great being. We are both reaching for the sun. So things, I mean, every week there was a different lesson. And I think before my time, he used to do Wednesday evenings as well as Sunday mornings. So he would have opportunity for people to come and talk with him. Yeah. And I used to visit him and bring him tapioca pudding. That was
Oh,
my,
really?
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Coffee or pudding? What do you mean?
He had certain things that he liked to eat. And so
Yeah.
he would give the recipe of what he wanted to eat.
Oh.
So I
Have
would-
you met him? Have you met him face to face before he passed away?
Yeah,
Have
for
you met? Great.
at least a year or a year and a half, I think. And I used to go with my little baby in 1984, and
Yeah.
Elisha, my son, was born in 84, and so I used to go to the teachings with him, and
Wow.
he would say, "Oh, the angel," and he'd
Oh.
love the sounds that the baby would make during
Yeah.
lesson. Whereas after Herman died, people would be annoyed by me bringing my baby, but he wasn't.
They are not as patient and as spiritual like him, you know.
They hadn't made it as elevated places he was in.
The baby himself is a spiritual in feeling,
Yes.
Yeah.
Not
Prefers
everybody
to
sees it that way, Tofik. A lot of people get irritated when a baby is, carrying on or talking or,
Yeah. I see
They're
it this
crazy
way.
because
They don't even want it there.
children are the light. Children are the reason that they
Yeah,
bring a
yeah.
certain joy to everyone. At least they
Yeah,
should.
and we have been all children, babies,
Yeah.
and everyone states that That's the line there. Without being baby, you are lost, you know.
Yeah.
And most of people, I speak about myself, I'm not selfish, but I feel the baby part of me is with me all the time. And this makes me feel, you know, relaxed. Everyone has a baby in him.
Oh, good.
Even in 80 years old, I believe in that. Yeah,
I do too, actually. Yeah, I do too.
yeah. So being a baby is a gift, you know, is a, yeah.
And you
Aren't
know
you
what?
baby? Aren't you baby, Lynn?
Lucida,
Yeah.
our next book is going to be Sisterhood 42, If I Could Turn Back Time. I just wanted to tell you that topic. I thought that might be a topic that might interest you to write, that might, you know, be inviting to you. I
Interesting.
wanted to tell you that.
Who
Yeah.
chose the title, sweetie?
We all
Leah?
did. We took a vote. No, it wasn't Leah. We took a vote.
Oh, good.
And,
It's a great
it was
title.
very
I love
interesting.
it. I love it.
Turning back.
We had a lot of good titles. Yeah,
So-
I like that.
So now I need to turn it over to you three and hear
Yeah.
about your spiritual paths.
Oh, yeah. Great.
Go ahead, Taufik. You should have something to say about
If you don't mind, I will be the last one, please. If you don't mind.
Why do you have to?
I would
Okay,
like
whatever.
to. I would like to hear Leah's story because she
Yeah,
brings
me
light.
too.
You know. Oh, Leah, or you too. I don't. I'm sorry, but I want to be the last one.
Okay, fine. You said it.
Fast.
Go ahead, Leah.
I have a very eclectic sort of a spiritual approach to life. It's because I had a very really unusual sort of upbringing in a fundamentalistic, really quite fanatical mixed up Pentecostal, Lutheran, my parents were, I had to go to church 7 days a week. I had to go to different church schools. It turns out my mother was actually probably, because she's not able to, she was always so interested in Judaism, and ever since I was little. And she actually, when she was 18, and there is no such thing as a Jewish look, as we all know. However, there is sometimes something that people think is that, and sometimes it is. And when my mother was in Collingswood, New Jersey, during World War II, they had signs on restaurants saying "No Jews allowed." And
my
my
God.
mother was only 17 years old, and she would try to go into them to have a coffee, and they'd say, "Get out of here!" And she, why? And they would actually abuse her for being Jewish. And but she said, "But I'm not Jewish," and they'd say, "The hell you aren't," and all this. You know, she was a very confused person. She had abusive childhood. Then she had that on top of that. And what she didn't realize is that her father was, you know, that she actually did have a father that was Jewish, and her mother wasn't who she thought her mother was. And it's all very confused. I won't go into all of that. But as a consequence of that, I think some of that came through to her childhood and caused her to have a lifelong interest. So she was always taking me to like when I was little, we'd go to a local rabbi who was teaching her Hebraic language. You know, she became what's called a completed Jew. Which means they observe certain Jewish aspects of things, but they also believe, you know, that Jesus was who he said he was, and not just a prophet. And it was so there was a lot of you know, I had exorcisms forced on me when I was tiny. I was baptized in the Holy Spirit by a monk, an Episcopalian monk with a brown monk suit on when I was 11. I was an extremely spiritual child. And then when I was 14, I began to go into the library a lot more on my own And I began to read a great deal. I read about the Greek philosophers, I read about religions around the world. I read a whole lot. And when I came across the Gilgamesh, and I realized that the Gilgamesh was actually the Noah story, except 2000 or so,
you said
5,000
Gilgamesh?
years earlier, way. And I really, I said, oh, wait a second. And then I began to see, wait, there's 3 different Genesis, there's 3 different creation stories here in this Genesis book. And so at 14, in fact, I was going to a school that was actually used to be a junior college, and they had books like Bertrand Russell's, Why I Don't Believe in God, and all this sort of thing. And so I began to read all of these things. Very, other people were out playing or doing things, and I was in the library reading. And I also read books by yogis, and I started doing yoga. As soon as I could drive, I was 16. Well, I was 15, but 16 legally. I would go to an ashram and do yoga there, and also a certain amount of chanting, and then also go to a Hindi kind of a group in another part of town, and they had the incense, and it was all much more colorful and much more, and everyone, really did get into the chanting in a very, very big way there. And that was more of a kind of more of I think of the exact school. I mean, it was the Bhagavad Gita and things like that, but it wasn't exactly, your Hare Krishnas, but it was close to that. So I started doing all of that sort of thing, and they didn't know about it, of course. And I also continued to go to, because I had to, to the church services that we were required to do. And because I was doing this experimentation, a lot of people found me strange, because they just found me strange. And I would be, out of like 300 people, I would be the one person that some preacher would pick out to have demons expelled from them. Now, what did they see in me? I don't know, but they saw out of all these people, they walked right down to me.
Oh my God. And
That happened
fair.
more than once. Very strange. I don't know, maybe some look on my face. Well, I don't know. But anyway, it happened. And so religion was a kind of, this was the world of very real demons and very real, honestly, it was a confused religious upbringing. And it was also one in which I was very much sort of had it plowed and hammered into my head. And I've even had therapists say that you actually had religious abuse, okay? It was abuse of religiosity imposed upon you.
Yeah.
And because I was actually not being allowed to actually think any thoughts. And as soon as I got away from that, I was able to think. And it took a long time. In fact, it took coming over here. Coming over here and being in a peaceful place and being in a more safe place and a free space, and being with Ian, who is he's a person who doesn't want to be labeled. He comes close to being, we both studied Buddhism since we were 30. I'm also a Quaker Christian. I've also studied paganism, and Wiccan, kind of thinking with nature. So I kind of don't have a very good label.
Yeah.
Okay.
A couple of my best
Yeah,
friends are Jewish, and they say, "Hey, you're Jewish like we are," and they'll
Yeah.
Shana Tova,
Yeah.
all this, And,
I guess. Yes, Lynn.
Shana Tova was last week. Thank you.
I know that's
Yeah.
my friend called me up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
And you know
Leah,
what?
do you have
This is-
something? Are you finished or are you still talking, Leah?
I was just
don't-
going to say that I would like to add, though, with all that confusion that I just stated, that I don't have a confused mind on the subject at all. I just have a mind that has all these beautiful facets of the best parts of thoughts that I can get, the the beautiful thoughts that Jesus had about sharing all of your belongings, about the children coming children coming to them, and take care of people, feed the poor, help the poor. All of these things that a lot of people who claim to be Christians actually don't like to think about. These things, and then I love certain aspects of all of the religions I've come across, in the Muslim religion, in the Christian religion, in the Jewish religion, in the, as I said, in all the various different tribal religions I've studied, because I've done an awful lot of, and I just take bits and pieces. In nature, and nature is very important to me, and God is in nature, and God is in love, and it's all just so divine, and I think everything is divine, and I just think we're all part of this divine, amazing sort of thing, fabric. And so yeah, so it enriches and sustains me and helps me to know that my original thought that I wanted to be of service to others is what I want to do with my life, and that's my purpose in life. Not evangelical, simply peacefulness and kindness, that's it.
Yeah, and by the
Okay.
way, this is the difference between being religious and being spiritual. All what you talked about concerning those religious, you name from each part. Okay, so they were in any faith, Jewish, Muslims, Buddha. They are not really. They don't represent the real faith. Let's say the spiritual faith. And this is when it fails. So in general, let me say, spiritual faith is an update of wrong religious faith, the negative one. That's it. And that's why now you feel, with all your experiences, with all your beauty, we can see that in your face and in your behavior with everyone, helping others, kids. And you know what? I will say one last word, and I will stop talking. I know I'm too talkative. So, kids, the relationship with everyone with kids shows if he is really a good spiritual, religious, or whatever it is. Kids and how you react with nature. No, and you are both of them, their beloved Leah. Yeah.
Finished, Tofi?
Yes.
I just want to make sure. I don't want to interrupt you.
No, no,
Okay.
no, I'm finished. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, good. Since I was 11 years old, at 11 years old, I had a teacher, third grade, I think, or fourth grade, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And she really believed in getting out there in nature and communing, just feeling the beauty of nature and writing. And it was funny because she never told us what to write about. I just got out there and I always wrote about God. And through the years, to me, God is the essence of spirituality. There's no spirituality without God. Of course, this was instilled in me by my father, who was religious in his own right. He always went to temple. But he never got out there and really enjoyed nature. To me, when you hear the birds chirping, you're out there, you feel the beauty of life. That's such a wonderful part of spirituality. I was also trained in spirituality by the master, my mentor, Vinud Badhanka, who knows more about spirituality than I will ever know. And he told me about India, and he told me how important it is to stop and smell the roses, not just rush and do the New York Minute and get everything over with. He told me you have to enjoy it. Once you enjoy it, you will feel the spirit within you. And like Leah said, this spirit sort of led me through my life to the point of giving back.
Yeah.
Had I spent more time in making money and a little less in giving back, I might be in better shape than I am today. But I don't, hello, welcome to my world. I don't regret any of it. I love what I did. I still am doing it. Will probably do it to my dying day. And I feel a certain sort of connection with God every time I help someone. especially at the New York Cares Project, the projects that are giving projects. When I go out in the street, we want to help the hungry. Whatever we do, if you're helping someone, you're connecting. And by counseling too, which I also don't get paid for, I also feel like a sort of a connection. And when you help somebody, you always feel like that. So to me, spirituality is God and it's connection to others. And of course, it's a deep connection to nature. And I married a man who is the king of not only talking, but the king of spirituality himself. So I expect Tofi to add a lot. Go ahead, Tofi, take it away.
You taught me a lot of things about spiritual. Even I have been, raised to be spiritual, not religious. I told you before that my dad was imam. It's like a priest or rabbi, but his own way, his own Muslim way, imam, we call him. Anyway, to get back to what I just said or come out about Leah, yes, I do believe in spirituality. I do believe in, the service of others, and all these things are priority in every real right spiritual thing. And as a Muslim, yeah, hi Genia, I'm sorry, just a moment, please. Thank
Okay,
you.
we'll wait for you. My
Yeah.
laundry, you have to pick up the laundry.
Yes.
We never time
Yeah.
any.
Hi, Jane. Hi,
Let's give
brother.
her a minute
Yeah,
and
I'm a
that's it.
meeting. How you doing? Good. Yeah. So she's upstairs. We are at the meeting. Yeah, this is for dry clean, and it's too heavy there.
Okay, he'll come back and he'll tell you what he.
Just give me.
Me,
I need more. Can I help you with this? Okay, thank you so much. Okay, thank you. You can bring it tomorrow morning. Thank you so much. Okay, thank you. Have a good day. Okay, you need water?
No, I have
No. Okay, thank you so much, Jim.
to have in your hand.
It's the kind of art music. Yeah, it happens to me in my wrist and here, especially when I don't have enough sleep. Yeah,
Okay.
time to time. So that's why I put it. Makes me feel, and it's a medical stuff.
No, then
Thank you, Jean. Bye-bye. Thank you so much. See you tomorrow. Yeah, thank you for waiting. Thank you so much. And by the way, this was Jean, a laundryman. And speaking about our subjects, he's actually maybe Asian ethnicity, but he's the most spiritual guy I've never ever, and Lynn know about him. Anyway,
wonderful.
to come back, it doesn't matter if you are from X, Y, Z religion or faith, or it matters especially about the heart and how
That's
you
it.
serve others. So to come back to my statement, as a Muslim, my dad had a big inspiration and effect on me, like my beloved Lynn with her dad. Anyway, my dad moved from his countryside, in the 30s. He was 82. I mean, he breathed his last at 82 years. Anyway, since he was 12 years, he left that countryside. And, in the 30s, the countryside is like hell. Anyway, and as a kid, he wasn't even teenager. He moved to another city where it's a university place in Fez and Marrakesh. Anyway, why I say he have been trained and studied all kind of faiths. And in this university that time in the 30s, there was Jewish, Christian, Muslims, and other faiths in the same university. So he has been in touch with all faiths, which didn't apply for most Muslims. I say this and I'm responsible of this word. Most Muslims didn't have this opportunity to get in touch with mixture faiths. Anyway, my point is that he was studying there and he upgraded from that university. It's a language and Arabic Islamic university. They have especially language and religion curriculum for their studies. Anyway, and since that time, he didn't do that. That's why I mentioned that it's not about religion or prayer, about serving others. At the age of 20, he go back to his countryside and he got the certificate, call it grade or MBA. I don't know what was it in that time, but he came back to his parents in the countryside, so deteriorated basic life, and he decided to go to the city with his family. I mean, his parents, his brothers, sister, everyone. He brought them to the city and start really serving. What I mean, he has 11 brothers. You know, at that time, Muslims had big families, and his mom, his dad, and he brought them to the city. And first, they lived together in one room. I say one room only, kind
Can you
of.
imagine?
Yeah, he sacrificed all what he has for his family first. Then after that, he married my mom, and he even when he married, he needed to be in his own place, you know, as a husband and wife and kids. But he never let all his brothers and sisters down. You know. He managed to get for every brother, sister, and even their wives, kids, separate home in the city. And you know, and this requires a lot of financial means, but he did it. And believe me, well, he told me, I didn't know how I got all these even with a small salary. He everything he put in hands on turns to be right, and he never complain about lack of financial means. So the point is that with his connection with all these states and people from Mecca, he got the strength to understand the real religion, the real spiritual religion. So later on, I get raised in this kind of, faith. My dad was my inspiration, my hero. And when I grew up and in my own, I moved to another city. Anyway, I started being my own, understanding what is religion and what is spiritual. I had a background spiritual, but I have been in touch over with the religious people. You know, when I mean religious, the people who doesn't really understand the faith, and they are, they were most of them mean to others. They thought that they are the one who knows, they are the ones who have right, and till now. So, but even through all this, I didn't surrender, and I kept my relationship, my deep as spiritual. Until this moment, I just say there were a lot of wrong, mean, religious people I pick among my faith who are really so bad representing the real faith. And they are still there till today. I mean, my country in Arabic world. The recent example is those Taliban. The Taliban. Why I link this to Taliban? Because it's a continuous process to do those Talibans are an example of. I'm sorry to say that the continuous failing of the religion, world. There are still people who harm our spiritual faith. And I guess not only in Islam, but in Judaism, in Christianity, in Buddha, people who act wrong and they have no real positive and right to do that. And this is what really happens right now. And to conclude, being spiritual is not about praying or practicing your original faith belief. It's to give in, to serving. And I'm so glad that my wife, my beloved Lynn, has some most of her faith thoughts and balanced with the same level that we are both connected, thanks God, and loving each other despite the difference of faith. Actually, my beloved Lynn is born Jewish. I was born Muslim, but didn't affect at all our spiritual love and our connection. And I'm proud to be my Lena's partner in life and partner in crime.
That's very
Yeah, I
true.
love you. I love you, baby. Yeah.
It's not the Lynn and Tofi hour. What I will say though, very cutely, is that he's right.
Yeah.
When I first decided to marry Tofi, it
Yeah.
was spiritual because we both had the same beliefs and thoughts about life in general.
Yeah.
So spirituality to me doesn't mean that you have to stick to your guidelines in life and to your religion. You have to get out there. You have to that's what the meeting that we went to today was not about anything like this, but it was about
Yes.
embracing everyone, including everyone.
Yeah.
And that to me is the best message we could get. When you include others, you're opening your heart, and you are being spiritual just by including others
Yeah.
in your heart, in your prayers, in your thoughts. And that's what I have to say. Does
Yeah.
anybody
Love
else
each
have anything
other.
they want to add?
Love
Because
each other. Love
of course.
everyone. Yeah. This is the, let's say, the mantra that we
Love
must
each
or
other, love
should
everyone. I
practice.
love that. That's perfect, Tofi. Okay, Lorena, thank you so much once again.
So I guess she has
Loved
lot to say. Still, why you wanna leave, Lynn?
Because
Let
it's over.
Lorena make
Other people have a life,
evaluation.
Tofi. It's not like us. You know?
I love the meeting, and I'm not wrong. I just tell, in spite of saying bye everyone, let
I didn't
our
say bye. I just
sister.
said, does anybody have anything to add? And you just
So
typed,
Leah has. I mean, Licia, go ahead. I love you, Lena.
you're annoying me. Okay, let's
Thank
go
you.
to I'll say it one more
Okay.
time, and not for you, Tofi. Does anybody have anything they want to add, or does everybody just have other things that they have to do?
Actually,
I have to make dinner, but
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
go
okay. He
ahead.
thinks that you can stay online all day. He doesn't.
I didn't mean that. I mean, the host of this meeting is Licia, right? She has
Lasita.
the right. She has the right to
Lasita.
manage. She has the
Lasita.
right to manage it, not you.
Okay, so
Before
then
you were
you're
the
talking. You
host.
have to choose.
I love you.
okay. There was sometimes when I'd go and visit Herman, I would complain about my husband. And
Yeah.
he had a classic phrase, which I think we can apply to whatever the situation. And he would say, love him more.
Oh, you see? Oh my God,
lovely.
love
I
you
love
more.
that. I love that. That is so good.
Me too.
That is
So
so good,
good.
actually. That is so good.
Yeah.
Really, it is.
Yeah.
Love him more. That's marvelous.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It doesn't
I
get
love
into any of it. It doesn't get into it.
I love you
Doesn't say-
all.
No, that's a good
I
thing.
love you more, all of you ladies.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you.
But Lynn more
Thank
than
you.
any other. Okay.
That makes
Much love to all.
Yeah.
Mwah.
Okay. Okay,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
Thank you, Lynn and Tofi
Thank you so much.
and Lasita for making
Licia,
it
For
Licia,
hosting this meeting.
I'm expecting if you can record this video, because last time we couldn't do
I
it because it was
I did record it, and I can send it to
Wonderful.
Thank you so much. And about the
Wonderful.
book, I just reminding you, the Dreams book, you will get it next week, as promised.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye. Love
Bye-bye.
you all.
Bye-bye, my loves. Take care.